What's up, friends? This is Saul with another video, and today we are going to, I'm reading here, we're going to get an early look at the hero talents for Druids, Hunter, Mages, and Priests for the upcoming expansion, War Within. I'm doing this kind of live. I don't have a chat thing visible here, but you might see me or you might notice me talking to no one in particular. This is me just talking with chat and probably course correcting me and clarifying things that I just don't know about the game and other classes and other such things. So let's get right into it. Like the video, subscribe, and all that sort of stuff. And let's read things. The War Within expansion introduces hero talents as a new update to World of Warcraft classes. They're in evergreen form of character progression for each class spec that introduces new powers and class fantasies. Feedback is critical to us as a part of creating an impactful and fun addition to the game, so we're sharing our goals for hero talents with the community to get first impressions of them and learn how well we're meeting those goals. Okay, we're getting kind of a lecture, aren't we? Sort of. So let's go. What are hero talents? Hero talents are new self-contained talent trees that players unlock access at level 71. Hero talents build on the abilities and talents of current classes and specializations. Players can choose a single hero talent tree to activate on a character, and these talents can be changed in the same way class talents can be currently changed in the game. There are 3 hero talent trees for each class, excepting Druid with 4 and Demon Hunter with 2 still. Sorry, guys. Each spec has 2 hero talent trees they can choose between, and each of these trees is available as an option for 2 specializations. For example, warriors have 3 hero talent tree options: Slayer, Colossus, and Mountain Thane. Fury warriors have access to Mountain Thane and Slayer. Protection has access to Mountain Thane and Colossus, and Arms has access to Colossus and Slayer, as shown here. You have the class as a whole gets access to all these 3, but each individual spec can access 2. Ta-da. There are 11 nodes in a hero talent tree. The first of these unlocks with the system at level 71, and you earn 1 talent point per level from 71 to 80. So you get every talent in the tree by level 80. Hero talents will have starter builds available, and your saved builds will save your hero talent choices as well. Very important for later feedback. What to expect from hero talents. Each hero talent tree starts with a keystone talent, which is the thing at the top, then introduces the core mechanic and concept of the tree. This could be a new ability, an enhancement to an existing ability or cooldown, or a new buff that you can trigger. The bottom talent of each tree is a, quote, capstone talent that builds on the core themes of the tree or adds new power to the keystone. Each tree will offer or modify some class utility and include defensive bonuses that are useful to all specializations. We're aiming for all trees to be about equal in the amount of utility and defensiveness they provide. Trees for characters that can take on a tanking role may have some additional defense bonuses that'll be less valuable to healers or damage dealers, such as bonuses to tank talents or cooldowns. 3 or 4 nodes in each tree will be choice nodes, where you can choose between 2 options. Hero talents are meant to add enough damage or healing throughput to be significant without being so important that these new talents overshadow your current class and spec tree talents. Most hero talent trees add new visual effects to classes, both to communicate what they're doing and bring their class fantasies to life. However, these are not complete visual reworks. Your class and spec are still the same at their core, and that will continue to come through. So, Dark Ranger, Hunter specs or whatever, it's not going to look as dramatic as we might think. Maintaining freedom to choose. We want players to be free to choose the hero talent tree that has the gameplay, the visuals, or flavor that they prefer. Our goal is for both options to feel similarly effective in raid dungeons, Mythic Plus, and PvP. They're going to fail at it. Sorry. We're working to avoid abilities or bonuses in hero talents that can make a certain tree feel required for activities where we can. Good luck with that. We know that for some players, prioritizing total throughput is the most important thing to them, even if the difference between choices seems small. That's okay, but keeping hero talent balance close is one of our priorities so that players can play what they prefer and still be viable in any content. Like I've been saying with some of my mid commentary here, there are folks that are going to be like, that are going to really like stress, oh my god, this hero talent tree is literal garbo because it's only like 7% increase on DPS as opposed to like this other thing that is like an 11% increase. Blizz, you need to fix their game. Clearly, they're not even playing it. They have no idea what they're doing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, dude, quit tripping out. But that's the kind of energy that is going to go into many of these critiques once the dust settles and people are like starting to really crunch the numbers. So prepare yourself, buddies. How we chose hero talent concepts. Since we announced hero talents at BlizzCon, it's been great to see all the conversation and speculation surrounding the 39 hero talent titles. We'd like to share some of the thinking that went behind choosing those concepts. Each hero talent concept must be appropriate for both of the specs that can use it. Some concepts build on overlaps in abilities or flavors between the two specs that can use it, like Colossus Warriors, which are as mighty as Arms Warriors and imposing as Protection Warriors. Others create new themes that are appropriate for both specs, like Fate-bound Rogues. Don't know what that means, but okay. Hero talents also retain your combat role and the gear that you use so that you're not competing for new types of gear. For iconic Warcraft character archetypes, we wanted to be sure that we could deliver on their fantasy with World of Warcraft's classes. Blade Masters just wouldn't be Blade Masters without abilities like Windwalk and Mirror Image, but those abilities don't fit in a warrior's toolkit, which is really, really sad. Very unfortunate. Lastly, there are several iconic character archetypes that are strongly tied to specific races and factions, such as Keeper of the Grove or Mountain Thane. It's exciting to embody these storied archetypes, but we want to ensure that characters of every race and faction, hi Siren, can see themselves as those archetypes. We're open to feedback on what feels good for your characters versus what is frustrating. Someday, we're going to have orc druids, and an orc druid is going to walk up to a night elf druid, and the orc druid is going to be like, see what I can do. And then he grows antlers and all that stuff. And then the druid's like, man, vengeance for Teldrassil. And then it's on. So moving on to gameplay and hero talents. We have several goals for what it feels like to play WoW with hero talents. Here are some of our guiding principles for how they affect your capabilities, your rotation, what you pay attention to in combat, and your user interface. We like to say on the team that our goal for hero talents gameplay is for them to make you what you are, but more. We know that many of you have long histories with your favorite classes, and you play them because you like their gameplay and the spells and abilities that matter in their rotation, whether it's the spinning plates of affliction, the cycles of arcane, or the frantic reactivity of fury. Hero talents don't override what matters to a class. You should feel like you're playing your spec with a twist or a boost, and not as if the things that you care about have become unimportant or been replaced. A hero talent tree might add new behavior or bonuses to an existing ability, like Keeper of the Grove's bonuses to Force of Nature and Grove Guardian Treants. They might occasionally reset the cooldown on abilities or replace spells with more powerful versions. They might make it easier to maintain important buffs or grant additional resources at key moments. One thing that we're keeping a close eye on is complexity. Classes in WoW have a lot of abilities and talents, and there's a lot to learn about each one. We want hero talents to add new fun without creating new burdens, either in customizing or playing a character. Most hero talent trees do not add new buttons that players will need to add to their action bar or find a new keybind for. There will be additional opportunities for players to express their skill, but we're not trying to add things like complex maintenance buffs that increase the cognitive load for everyone playing a class. Most of the choices a player will make about how complex they want their rotation to be will continue to be made in their class and spec talent trees. Some hero talents do require you to take certain talents in your class or spec trees to access their powers. This is often because those talents fit the flavor and theme of that specific hero talent tree. The Mountain Thane Warrior tree enhances Avatar and Thunderclap. Templar Paladin gives extra power to Wake of Ashes, and Elune's Chosen Druids can cast a particularly strong Fury of Lune. However, a hero talent tree will only ever require or enhance a small number of class or spec talents. It's important to us that there's still freedom in customizing your class build. Something that I'm worried about here when you have hero talents that synergize with the class or the specialization talents is that I think people are going to at least gravitate towards those first because they seem like the cool thing. It's like, oh, I found some synergy, man. This works really cool when it's stacked together. And I feel like that threatens to hamstring some of the design, but they chose that burden. So finally, show us the hero talent trees. I'm gonna have a little table of contents thing, so people will be able to scroll through because this is like I'm already like 10 minutes in. Over the coming months, we'll continue to share full designs for hero talent trees from the War Within. We're excited to hear what you think of them. So let's get to it. Keeper of the Grove Druid. This hero spec is for balance and restoration. Keepers of the Grove take inspiration from Cenarius' mighty children to protect the balance of nature and safeguard the dream. They channel the power of the dream to make their spells especially potent and summon empowered treants to protect their allies and crush their enemies. This isn't new, right? Or this is the new one. Okay, this is the new one. Because I remember Druids had one before, and I don't remember it very well. So let me know. Anyway, so top of the thing is Dream Surge. Force of Nature grants 3 charges of Dream Burst, causing your next Wrath or Starfire to explode on the target. Okay, so this is for balance and rest. Okay. Dealing nature damage to nearby enemies, damage reduced above 5 targets. But also, if you're Resto, Grove Guardians causes your next targeted heal to create 2 Dream Petals, and it stacks up to 3. So this is the top thing. So it just enhances a button that you're already using. Okay. And then we go down to, so real quick, I'm just kind of looking at the blueprint here. So we got the choice nodes, the single stuff, and that leads all the way to the bottom. Okay. So let's go down each side. Treants of the Moon, your treants cast Moonfire on nearby targets about once every 6 seconds. Clearly a balance thing, but very cool. Force of Nature treants no longer taunt, but they deal more damage. But Grove Guardians increase the healing. So throughput here for this choice. Durability of Nature. Your Force of Nature treants have more health, and they tank better, I guess. And then here, the Healy trees, they're nourish. And Swiftbend also apply a minor ward that heals the target over 8 seconds the next time they take damage. Oh, that's a cool one. Bounteous Bloom. Your Force of Nature treants generates astral power every 2 seconds. Good for maintenance. Grove Guardian's healing is increased by 20%. Force of Nature cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds or 3 seconds for the Healy Druids. I feel like the throughput would be like better. That way you can like time it for encounters and stuff. I'll do the capstone later. Expansiveness. Your maximum mana is increased by 5% and astral power is increased by 20. That doesn't seem like all that impressive. Casting Star Surge or Starfall. I mean, you're gonna get it anyway. But Star Surge or Starfall increases the damage of your next one by 10% and stacks up to 2 times casting another spell. So keep in mind, the things that are not choice nodes, these are just buffs that you're going to get as you level. So you're just going to have these. These eventually these aren't choice nodes. You're going to eventually get them, which is cool. It's just when you level, you're going to be going down a path, and eventually you're going to get everything, followed by these choices here. Casting Regrowth, Wild Growth, or Swiftbend increases the healing of your next one. Okay, so more. Power of the Dream. Force of Nature grants an additional stack of Dream Burst, which is that buff that we were talking about at the very top. Healing spells cast with Dream Surge generate more petals, so more healing. So more throughput. Control of the Dream. Time elapsed while your major abilities are available to be used is subtracted from that ability's cooldown after the next time you use it after 5 seconds, and it affects the following spells. Okay, so let's read this one again. Time elapsed, time that goes by while your major abilities are up is subtracted from that ability's cooldown the next time that you use it. Up to 5 seconds. That doesn't feel very significant, right? It just means hold on to your spells for a little bit. I don't think that doesn't feel very great to me, but oh well. Protective Growth. Your regrowth protects you, reducing damage you take by 8% while your regrowth is on you. Oh, easy, easy defensive. Okay, if you happen to heal yourself, I guess. Yeah, yeah, kind of. Grove's Inspiration, Wrath and Starfire damage increased by 12%. Regrowth, Healy stuff increased by 6%. Nice and straightforward. Persistent Enchantments. Orbital Strike applies Stellar Flare for 20 seconds and Primordial Arcanic Pulsar. That sounds so sciencey. Grants Celestial Alignment for 2 additional seconds. Reforestation grants Tree Life for additional 2 seconds. Okay, I'm kind of familiar with the talent, but and this one seems way better. Every 5 regrowths that you cast makes your next Wrath, Starfire, or Entangling Roots instant and increases the damage it deals by 100%. Or every 5 Star Surges or Starfalls you cast makes your next. Okay, so wow, this one's good. Yeah, this one's good because it makes your CC like almost like pretty much always available, right? Assuming that you can just like maintain this, and then it just makes your, oh crap, something's coming, boom, roots, and you can expect it to be like an instant cast basically. Each of your Force of Nature treants increases damage your spells deal by 3% while active. Okay, so it's just a simple buff for them. Not that exciting, but hey, it's a plus, I'll take it. Oh, maybe I should just read through this instead. It's nice and clear, and everyone can read it on screen. Yeah, there's no additional no additional things to that. Okay, let's move on to, because it's kind of like screwed up a little bit. All right, let's move on to Dark Ranger Hunter. This is going to be available for Marksman and Beastmaster Hunters, aka just Beastmaster Hunters and I guess Marksman. You've made a pact with dark magic and have embraced hatred and necromancy for your own personal benefit. Strike from the shadows and assault your enemies with necrotic and shadow empowered abilities. Enemies who fall from your abilities further empower your dark energies. Okay, so I'm just gonna. Okay, cool. Looks like that. I'm just gonna go through this instead. Okay, so the top ability is Black Arrow. Fire a black arrow into your target, causing it to take shadow damage every 2 seconds for 16 seconds. Each time it deals damage, you have a chance to reset the cooldown of aim shot or barb shot, and it has a 30-second cooldown. Hit it every 30 seconds. More barb shot. Got it. Ranger's Finesse. Aim shot and rapid fire deal more damage. Barb shot and kill command deal extra damage. That seems like a good one. Each time Black Arrow deals damage, you have a chance to manifest an undead hound. Ooh, more buddies. Okay, so each time it deals damage, you have a chance to manifest an undead hound to charge your target and deal shadow damage. When you apply Black Arrow to a target, you gain the Death Blow or Hunter's Prey effect. Dark Hounds, baby. I'll pick that one up as soon as I can. My Hunter is my gathering character, so that'll be kind of cool. Road 2. Choice node, Dark Empowerment and Grave Reaper. So Dark Empowerment is when Black Arrow resets the cooldown of an ability, you gain some focus. Cute. When a target affected by Black Arrow dies, the cooldown of Black Arrow is reduced by 12 seconds. Okay, there's a clear difference here where, short encounter, longer encounters do that. Grave Reaper is for short encounters, Mythic Plus, PvP, that sort of stuff. Next choice node is Embrace the Shadows and Smokescreen. Embrace the Shadows is when you heal for 15% of all shadow damage dealt by you or your pets. Oh, that's cool. That's dope. Because hunters die all the damn time. So that's a big plus. Or Smokescreen. Exhilaration grants you 3 seconds of Survival of the Fittest. Survival of the Fittest activates Exhilaration at 50% effectiveness. Okay, so both of these are good. It's just a matter of what kind of encounter are you going to deal with? So if I'm doing something like Farok and I'm taking constant ticking damage, maybe this will be better. But if I know there's going to be a oh snap sort of thing happening and I need my buttons to be effective at certain periods, then okay, that's the kind of vibe that I think we're going for here. And that's cool. And then finally, we have Dark Chains. Disengage will chain the closest target to the ground, causing them to move 40% slower until they move 8 yards away. That's cool. That's neat, dude. I like this. I like the concept of this ability. Yeah, I like that. Okay, row 3, Intense Darkness. When True Shot or Call of the Wild is active, Black Arrow deals damage faster. Interesting. Faster. Shadow Surge. When multi-shot hits a target affected by Black Arrow, a burst of shadow energy erupts, dealing moderate shadow damage to all enemies near the target. This can occur only once every 6 seconds. Oh, that's cool. So I think the duration of Black Arrow was like long enough that you would be able to multi-shot twice and be able to get that sort of effect. I mean, it doesn't look like it debuffs the enemy. It's just extra damage. Choice note: there's Darkness Calls and Shadow Assassin. Darkness Calls is where all shadow damage you and your pet deal is increased. Okay, so I still need to figure out where this shadow pet damage is happening. I guess it's further down. Oh, or Shadow Assassin. Kill shot has a 15% chance to generate a charge of aim shot or barb shot when used on a target affected by Black Arrow. So kind of so execute or not, right? I think I'd probably go for Darkness Calls. So. And then finally, the capstone. Withering Fire. When Black Arrow resets the cooldown of aim shot or barb shot, a barrage of dark arrows strikes your target for shadow damage and increases the damage you and your pets deal by 10% for 6 seconds. So they keep talking about shadow damage from pets. I think I might have missed something here. Yeah, so where's the shadow pet damage? I guess the Undead Hound would be what they're talking about, but it's not exactly, oh, your pets will deal shadow damage. So I think that's what they're talking about here, which is a little unfortunate. Yeah, because now this thing like embraces shadows, that doesn't feel like it hits the right way. Now it feels like, okay, are there pets that deal shadow damage? I don't think there are. Yeah, so I'd like to know, where can I get shadow damage from my pets? Oh well. All right, so Frostfire Mage. This applies to fire and frost mages. Surprise, surprise. And let's take a look. Let's take a look at what we got. Okay, so Frostfire Keystone, Frostfire Master. Your damaging fire spells generate 1 stack of Fire Mastery, and frost spells generate 1 stack of Frost Mastery. Okay, Fire Mastery increases your haste by 1%, and Frost Mastery increases your mastery by 1% for 12 seconds, stacking up to 8 times each. Adding stacks does not refresh the duration. Okay, so when you start, yeah, so it's just kind of like this Incanter's buff where it keeps falling up and down. Okay. So choice note: Imbued Warding and Meltdown. Blazing Barrier also casts an Ice Barrier at 25% effectiveness for fire, so very defensive. Also affects your mass barrier. Cool. Meltdown. You melt slightly out of your ice block and ice cold, allowing you to move slowly during ice block and increasing your movement speed over time. Ice block and ice cold trigger a blast wave when they end. I mean, ice cold you can move fine though, right? So I'm not quite sure what the difference there is. I guess it's you get a blast wave when it's done, which is a nice defensive thing to have. Cool. Then we have, okay, that's a choice now. So Frostfire Bolt. Frostfire Bolt is back. Yay! Launches the bolt of frostfire at the enemy, dealing frostfire damage, slowing movement speed by 50%. And basically all the cool stuff. And it also generates a stack of both fire and frost mastery. Oh, it replaces Frostbolt or fire. Oh, okay, interesting. And then we have a choice note: Elemental Affinity and Flame and Frost. Elemental Affinity, the cooldown of frost spells is reduced by 10% for fire. Wait, the cooldown? Oh, okay. So depending on your spec, the cooldown of your fire spells are reduced. Okay, I can't imagine doing anything as Frost. Yeah, oh well. Flame and Frost. Cauterize resets the cooldown of your Frost spells with a base cooldown shorter than 4 minutes. Cold Snap will additionally reset the cooldown of your fire spells. Okay, so kind of like a affects one, affects the other sort of thing so far. Second row, Isothermic Core. Comet Storm now also calls down the Meteor at 100% effectiveness onto your target's location. Neat. Meteor also calls... Okay, so lots of that stuff. It's very... I forgot the name of the dude. There's like a hero character in this anime called My Hero Academia. Lots of fire and frost stuff, which is cool. There's a choice now with that has severe temperatures and thermal conditioning. Severe temperatures has so casting frost or fire spells increases the damage of your next Frostfire bolt by 6%, stacking up to 5 times. That seems cool. Yeah. So you basically have like a constant big buff to your main attack, or well, I guess your basic attack. Thermal conditioning Frostfire bolt's cast time is reduced by 10%. I guess depending on like if you're moving a lot, Mythic Plus, this would be good for that. Raid stuff. Hopefully, if the encounter like just lets you like turret, that would clearly be better too. Okay, Frostfire Infusion. Your Frostfire and fire spells have a chance to trigger an additional bolt of Frostfire, dealing Frostfire damage. This effect generates Frostfire Mastery when activated. Oh, that's cool. So it's kind of like a frost or fire. It's a Frostfire overload of sorts. Cool. Row 3, Excess Frost. Reaching maximum stacks. Oh, there's a maximum. Reaching maximum stacks of Frost Mastery causes your next Phoenix Flames or Flurry to cast an Ice Nova at 200% effectiveness. Okay, it's an Ice Nova, not a Frost Nova. So it's not like an auto CC thing, because that'd be kind of weird. When you consume excess frost, the cooldown of Meteor or Comet Storm is reduced by 5 seconds. Okay. So basically, those abilities are just going to have lower cooldowns. Boom. Frostfire Empowerment. Your Frost and Fire spells have a chance to activate Frostfire Empowerment, causing your next Frostfire Bolt to always crit, explode for 80% of its damage to nearby enemies, and be instant cast. Oh, that's cool. Oh man, so even like the filler spell is going to have like its own instant proc. That's pretty neat. That'll make mages feel like a little bit more mobile, which is very cool. And then Excess Fire, reaching maximum stacks of Fire Mastery. So you're going to get all of this. You're going to get all of this. This is not a choice node. It causes your next Fire Blast or Ice Lance to apply a Living Bomb. That's dope, dude. When this Living Bomb explodes, it reduces the cooldown of Phoenix Flames, or you gain Brain Freeze. That's neat. I'm liking it. Mages feel kind of cool. And then the capstone is Frostfire Empowerment. It grants you the maximum benefit of Frostfire Mastery and refreshes its duration. Activating Combustion or Icy Veins grants you Frostfire Empowerment. So it's just you just kind of hit the ground running. That's neat. Yeah, this feels pretty cool. I'm not a pro mage by any means, but at least it feels neat. All right, let's move on to priestesses. The last one of the day. The Oracle Priest will apply to Holy and Disc. Gain insight into the future and use it to protect and empower your allies. Future Sight grants the priest the ability to grant multiple different and unique beneficial effects to their allies. All right. The keystone is Premonition. Divine the future and gain access to a spell that gives you an advantage against your fate. It replaces Power Infusion. Huh. Okay, so if you go for this hero spec, you kind of lose Power Infusion. 1 minute cooldown, it's an instant cast, and you gain one of these things. Solace, it increases your target's healing received by 25% for 10 seconds. Or it increases your target's magic damage dealt by 10 seconds. Or their physical damage. So I'm gonna guess that it really depends on like the specialization of the class, the spec, or whoever. So if it increases the target's healing received, I guess that's very much just like the tank thing. So that's kind of cool, and especially because it applies to the healing received by anybody, not just healing from the priest. 10 seconds is really short though. You know what I mean? I feel like whoever is using this would need to be really on top of, okay, one of my DPS going to like really pump. One of those moments. Because it's on a 1 minute cooldown, which is pretty quick. But this will require like a bit of thought. And of course, it's definitely going to get people to be like, so I'm going to get it, right? You're just going to give it to me, right? So that conversation isn't going to change. All right, first row. And again, this is Holy and Disc. Preventative measures. It increases the damage absorbed by Power Word Shield by 10%, and the healing done by Prayer of Mending. Cool. Preemptive Care increases the duration of Atonement by 1 second and increases the duration of Renew by 3 seconds. Now keep in mind, these are just buffs that this hero spec will get. You will just get these if you have this spec active. Choice note, waste no time and miraculous recovery. First one is premonition causes your next radiance, heal, or prayer of healing to be instant and cost 15% less mana. Premonition. Okay, so you'll want to use that ability off cooldown anyway. You're not gonna wanna. Well, okay, maybe you will, but maybe not. You want to like time premonition, but you might not care either. Or you can reduce the cooldown of your Power Word life by 3 seconds and allow it to be usable on targets below 50% health. Oh, I feel like that's going to be like the easier one to use. Next row, Assured Safety. Power Word Shield. Oh, I'm sorry. Power Word Shide applies 1 stack of Prayer of Mending to your target. Prayer of Mending casts apply a Power Word Shield to your target at 20% effectiveness. Oh, that's dope. That's pretty cool. So I'm guessing it's not going to like chain or anything like that. But that seems kind of neat. And then there's a choice node, Prompt Deliverance. It reduces the cooldown of Purify your Cleanse. Purify by 2 seconds. Or Divine Feathers. When an ally walks through your Angelic Feather, you're also granted 100% of its effect. Oh, that's nice and helpful. I'll probably take the Cleanse, depending on the circumstance. And then there's Foreseen Circumstances. Pain Sap reduces damage taken by an additional 10%. Guardian Spirit lasts for longer. Cool. Third row, Grand Reveal. When your Power Word Shield is fully absorbed or your Prayer of Mending heals, you gain a stack of a Grand Reveal. At 150 stacks, you gain an additional charge of Premonition. Oh, so it's a charge? Hold on. 1 minute cooldown. Okay, so you can use it multiple times in short succession. I don't know how often that would be though. Oh well. And then there's a choice on Perfect Vision. It reduces the cooldown of Premonition by 10 seconds, so from 60 to 50. Cool. Or Premonition can now trigger the Brilliance and Urgency effects. I don't remember what that is, but this I understand. Cool. And then there is, let's see, Brilliance. Oh, okay. Oh, this is what they are. Premonition can now trigger these. Restore 5% of your target's maximum mana, increases your target's haste by 12% for 10 seconds. Okay, people will probably be like, can you like give me the better Premonition, please? And then there's a choice now, Divine Providence and Fate Bender. Divine Providence increases the duration of your Premonition effects by a few seconds, or the effect is increased by 30% if the divine spell is different than the previous Premonition. Oh man, that's going to be a lot of like thinking. And then finally, the capstone. Premonition has a low chance to grant you clairvoyance. Grants your target and 2 nearby allies all the effects of premonition. Damn. So it's like, do you want to be an evoker? You can try. Let's give it a shot. So yeah, this definitely has like a prescience kind of vibe to it, and you're probably gonna want to like spam it. Grants your target and 2 nearby allies all the effects of I guess the difference here would be like you don't have like any control over who's gonna get those buffs aside from proximity. So it's like, stand with the healers, stand with the deeps. Tanks are not gonna like well, I guess tanks will see it if they apply it to if they apply the buff to the tanks and then it goes to like a nearby melee DPS, then that wouldn't be so bad. This just feels like an auto button that you want to just like spam. It doesn't feel like you want to really balance anything, or you don't want to balance it around anything else. Just use it. As long as you're using it, then you are in a good spot. And I believe that takes care of that. And we do have some creators that were covering this in advance. Awesome. And for now, that's it. I'm wondering what you guys think of all of these right now. Some folks are saying that people will mob the PI target. Yeah, like the mage one seems. I'm sorry, the priest one seems interesting. I feel like the ones that got me like excited so far, and I think it's mostly because I'm more familiar with these classes. I say the hunter and the mage stuff seem kind of cool. The hunter one I'm a little bit concerned about with the pet damage. Again, it feels like thematically it feels neat, but the actual effectiveness of a Dark Ranger hunter, I feel like that it would be diminished by the fact that there doesn't seem to be like an immediate way to have the pets deal shadow damage. If they could, or if they added something to where like a portion of the pet's damage is converted into shadow damage, and then that will benefit from the hero talent stuff, then that could be very cool. As long as it's balanced right, of course, right? Frostfire Mages, it seems wild. But it has. Oh, but I think it really brings in that power fantasy. So I'm very interested to see like what some of the other. I'm not familiar with the other all the different hero talent names and stuff, but I'm curious to see like what's next, because at least with those two, very impressed by it. Keeper of the Grove, that one seems kind of straightforward. It just makes the trees better. Let's have like a whole bunch of buffs to them. And I like the trees. I think they're very cool. I think they've been a very cool addition ever since they started to put more focus on having the trees do stuff. So having them kind of go all in for something like this seems really neat. But yeah, some of the mechanical stuff, I want to, I'm hoping that we get alpha and all that stuff. We're going to see it. We're not going to see it for a few months, but I'm going to be curious to see like mechanically how those work. Someone's talking about the numbers in chat. Yeah, the numbers are going to change, but they wanted feedback, and I wanted to at least say something that especially with hunters, I'm just curious about the mechanical implementation of it. This is regardless of numbers, because if that implementation isn't quite there, you don't see numbers at all. So that's going to be it for me. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. Of course, like the video, subscribe for more stuff. And I'll see you guys for the next thing. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.